Okay, hi, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with Matt Myers, MMA fighter from Australia. How are you, bro?
Good, mate. Thank you for having me on.
Mate, it's been a while since we chatted. Since that time, you secured your title, man. Now looking to defend it on Eternal, man. How's it feel to be the champ?
It was weird at the start, just because I'm getting all this notoriety and all these people, different people reaching out and wanting to chat. But now it just kind of feels like I'm coming up to another fight. Like, it doesn't really feel any different. So yeah, I guess I'm, by being the champ, you get the opponents and you get high level opponents. So these were guys that I wanted to fight a long time ago, and now I get them.
That's it, man. Actually, talking about the notoriety, have a few people getting you on for interviews, bro. I was just looking through the interviews then, and I see Matt Myers pinned it. It's something I'm going to have to go back and have a look at. What's that about?
That was Aiden. So that's Aiden's.
Oh, okay.
He's a long-time teammate of mine, and we've been friends for a very long time. Probably 10 years now, I'd say.
Yeah.
And he's just started a podcast. He said to me it was a practice one. He said we were practicing. And, I had a few cans and said a few silly things.
Fair enough.
And that's how he came out with it.
That's good, bro. I'll check that one out. I checked out a couple of other interviews, bro. They're good. Hey, so you mentioned about the title, man. You got it with a nice spinning back kick. I heard you say that it's something you've been drilling, which is always good, right? Like you see some of the guys like Masvidal drilling that knee, and then he lands it clean. Same thing, right? You had the opportunity to do something you've been training. That must feel good to, see the results of your work.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. Considering, like, I'd say for the last year and a bit, we've been first 5 minutes of every pro session, get on the heavy bag and just drill that spinning back kick. So it's been drilled and drilled and drilled and drilled. And it was cool to actually use it and for it to actually work and get me the title.
That's it, man. And coming up to Eternal 78, right? It's in Sydney, 8th of September. You're fighting Brogan Anderson from CKB, bro. You mentioned that you like, hard opponents. That kind of drives you to train. Do you feel like Brogan matches that criteria for you?
Absolutely. He's comes out of a great gym. He's got an awesome record, and he's been around for a long time. So he's been all over the world, and I think in your interview he was talking about training in Albuquerque and all that sort of stuff. So I absolutely see him as a high caliber opponent, and I'm excited to get in there and mix it up with him.
That's it, man. You had that fight with his teammate Kevin Jusay a while back, bro, and that was a back and forth battle, a nice fight, man. Do you feel like you'd like to get the win back to over their gym as well? Is that some sort of motivation at all?
100%, and just getting a big win and against any of those guys is awesome, and it's huge for us. We're over here in Melbourne. We've got a small little team, to beat the coaching team of City Kickboxing would be amazing. But yeah, definitely, I want to get that one back. I'd love to get that fight back.
I think it might be on the cards one day, right? Are you guys at the same weight still? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he bounces 77 to middleweight, so he bounces between the two. He got offered to fight me before the Priscus fight, and that eventuated in the Priscus fight. But yeah, that'd be awesome to get. Awesome. Not looking ahead of Brogan though at all. Brogan's sole focus at the moment, but in the future that'd be perfect.
That's it, man. Hey, Brogan, you said you watched the interview, man. From my impression, he seems very, very kind of cocky and confident, which is kind of common amongst fighters. You need to be confident. But he seems like he might have already won in his head, man, I think. What do you think about that? You think he's feeling that way?
Yeah, beautiful. Good. I hope he comes in confident. I hope he comes in thinking on one thing. But a lot of people have done that. Like, I've always sort of been the underdog in my career and generally in life. I like people overlooking me. I like people thinking that they're, a lot better than me, and this is kind of in the bag. Doesn't usually turn out too well for them, so we'll see. We'll see September 8th. That's a beautiful thing about this sport. We can predict and we can do whatever we want to do. We can train as hard as we want. We can put in all the work, and we can be as confident and whatnot as we want. But at the end of the day, we're going to be facing off. We're going to be standing in front of each other, mouth guards in, cups on, gloves on. A crowd around us, cameras on, and we're going to fight, and we'll find out.
That's it, man. Man, obviously you're both good martial artists. You can do it standing, you can do it ground fighting as well. He seems to fall back on his wrestling quite a bit, or his ground fighting, but he's not trained by Chris Brown, 5 times Olympic competitor, bro. Do you think you'll have the edge once it gets to that sort of grappling situation? What do you think?
Yeah, in my mind, I'm better everywhere. So I think he's a strong guy. I think physically he poses a lot of threats. He's strong and he's got a lot of experience, but skill-wise, I don't see anything that's too concerning on the ground or on the feet. But then again, a guy with 18 pro fights like Brogan, you don't really know. It's like you can watch some of these black belts, you watch them roll and you watch them compete, you don't think it's anything special, but then you get underneath them and it's a completely different story. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, that's the interesting thing. Like when you watch, you watch someone, but then this guy, like the fight experience, obviously considerably more fights, plus just thinking of the caliber of the guys that he's training with day in, day out, right? So, and he talked about some sort of dominance in training and stuff, how he's feeling himself now. To be saying that amongst the crew at CKB means he's in good form and ready to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't think you're not going to bring your training partners into the cage with you. This is a solo sport, and we're going to have to get in there and fight. I'm not any of those boys. I'm very different, and I've been trained very differently. So, yeah.
That's it, man. And so the first fight with John, you said it validated, that you should be up there with those guys fighting in that sort of elite level. Now, are you still kind of looking for more validation? Because that sort of thing never really ends, right? Like you want to hold your title. Next, you want to get to the UFC, and next you want to get to a good level, top 15. Next, you want to win a title. Like, is that something you're still chasing, validation or not?
Yeah, more or less just success, and success for the people around me and the gym. I'm chasing that success for them because I believe that if I succeed and when I succeed, they're all going to succeed, and I can kind of kick open the door for a lot of these younger guys that we have coming up in the gym who are immensely talented, and having someone like me at the top in the country or even competing in the UFC would be massive for those boys. So, it is always them. The John fight, it was like, oh, I can actually do this. Like I'm at that level. It's not just belief and faith anymore. It's fact. So yeah, but further success is definitely going to be for the boys at the gym. I'm going out to put on for them.
Awesome, man. So just finally, Eternal at Friday, 8th of September for the middleweight belt against Brogan Anderson, CKB. What's your prediction, brother?
I hate making predictions on fights, but I'm coming to be as violent as possible. If I have an opening, I'm going to take it. And we'll have a fight. We'll have a good old-fashioned fight.
Well, Brogan expects you to come hard and come early, bro. So that was a funny one. Yeah,
He's not wrong.
So, mate, that weekend's going to be so good, right? Like, just Sydney's just going to be pumping. We got the UFC 293, you guys fighting. It's going to be the best weekend, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I haven't watched a couple of you guys live because I'm overseas, but I'm coming back to watch. So really pumped,
Yeah, well, mate, awesome weekend for fight fans. And you know, you look at the co-main event there. Whew, you look at the whole card. We got Alan Philpott and Buzzsaw having it out, and then we've got Joe Luciano, Matt Vale, which will be I didn't see that fight coming at all. That'd be a crazy fight. And then obviously UFC the next day or the day after that. So cracking weekend for fight fans, cracking.
Man, that's the one thing I haven't thought about. Your Kiwi background, bro. So where does your loyalty lie lately with the people? Because they've got heaps of Kiwis coming over. Do you kind of feel like you're just a oceanic fighter? You're brothers with the Aussies, brothers with the Kiwis, or you tend to side on one side?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm always going to have an affinity for Kiwis, obviously. You know, everywhere I go, you know, if I bump into a Kiwi or whatever, we always end up having a bit of a yarn. But I'll have to go Aussies. You know, I'm going on the Aussie side for this. I'm trained by an Australian. I train with Australians. You know, I have to go with the boys.
Cool. Good, bro. You know, man, it's good to chat again, and looking forward to watching you fight live and seeing you perform, defending your title, bro. Looking forward to it.
Beauty. Thank you very much, Toby.
Cool. Thanks, bro. Chat soon.